time, baby.
Okay, look, we're here to talk about Hogwarts Legacy, but I really want to point out that both Avalanche and Avalanche both created a game based on an already established IP and both created beautifully crafted games that took aspects from open world games of the time and really made it their own. Hogwarts is easily the most surprising game for me in 2023, and even more surprising how much I love it. It's beautiful, and it's certainly one of the prettiest games of the year. The world and Hogwarts Castle itself are crazy impressive, especially when traveling via the broom, which when you get those upgrades is so fast and fun. It's just such a cool thing to, in a video game, travel and see the world from the sky versus being on a horse. Though you can also explore the world on the back of an animal as well as a flying creature at certain points in the game. And from that point on, there's such a magical sense of wonder and whimsy that is expected of this universe, but it also reminds me of games like Assassin's Creed Origins and The Witcher 3 in some ways, especially in how engrossing the world is and how it tries to keep you interested with so many unique and engaging activities to do and places to discover, which all have their own personality. Also, a lot like those games, it really pushes mystery and discovery to help push its adventurous spirit. Many will call it an action RPG, but I'd call it just a straight up action adventure game like Uncharted or Tomb Raider, but it has leveling and gear and is in a giant open world, which I would like to say appears bigger than it is, but it's actually quite well paced as far as size. Many big Harry Potter fans didn't care for the story, but the characters, world, and overall narrative really grabbed me and kept me interested, if I'm going to be honest, and I'm not a fan of Harry Potter. The final boss and ending are absolutely fantastic. I mean, I was genuinely surprised at how challenging the final boss was and how well they mixed it up. The game even pulled a Banjo-Kazooie or ukulele and broke the boss fight rule of 3 for this fight. The rule of 3 being bosses typically having 3 stages with a new variation per stage. The side storylines involving Natty, Poppy, and Sebastian are all equally great in my opinion, even though many say that Sebastian's is better than the main storyline or either of those other 2 storylines. But I think that all 3 of those storylines, which actually heavily supplement the main storyline, all together makes a surprisingly well-made storyline. And they kind of all equally come together to make surprisingly compelling adventures, right? And they almost feel like mini DLCs compared to your average side quests that you'll get in the game, which are usually more like fetch quests or go here, do this kind of thing. The simulation-like elements of potion crafting, furnishing a certain location, and collecting animals and taking care of them, like in the Fantastic Beasts movies, are quite cool and nice little additions that are entirely optional but would be especially fun for fans or those who want to get lost in the game for weeks or months to come. Hogwarts Legacy reminds me of the old Assassin's Creed games in the way it teaches you a few lessons about life and does really cool and interesting things with a splash of the extraordinary, but doesn't quite hit the levels of Masterpiece or Game of the Year in my opinion. That's obviously completely fine and doesn't take away from all the insanely impressive things the game pulls off. Hogwarts Castle is truly the star of the show. All of its puzzles or hidden secrets to find, there's so many random events and cool details. And the castle itself feels like a hub world in a much smaller game, yet here it lies in the very middle of a pretty large world, but feels 10 times as deep and mysterious as that world. It's like a massive Metroidvania dungeon that you come back to and unlock or find more and more every visit. I think Hogwarts will be a Game of the Year contender, no doubt, and I think it deserves a lot of love and more than earns any praise it gets. What the developers achieved here with their first big project and how well they did it is a true feat of game design as a whole, and they deserve to be praised for that. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.